Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Friday the 24th of April and today is the day that the pre-trial hearing takes place. In fact, it's actually taking place as we speak. So hopefully by the time this video is over, I might have a little bit more information for you and have another video. Let's see how it goes, shall we? So what's happening at the moment is it's the pre-trial and essentially the Mail's legal team want to throw out Meghan's claims that the Mail acted dishonestly, and she claims that because they admitted parts of her letter to Thomas Markle, that they were manipulating the contents of the letter deliberately. Now, the Mail's lawyers also want to remove Meghan's allegement of improper conduct, in which she insists that the Mail tried to dig and stir up issues between her and her father. The Mail disputes this, insisting that Thomas Markle approached them following the People's Magazine article and he wanted to put the story straight. The Mail's lawyers also rebut Meghan's allegation that they harassed, manipulated and exploited Thomas Markle, and they are extremely cautious on how Meghan is aware of this statement at all when she hasn't actually spoken to Thomas since the wedding. And her lawyers actually admit to Meghan not speaking to Thomas since the wedding too. So how on earth does she actually know how her father's feeling when she hasn't spoken to him? It's kind of counterintuitive, doesn't it? You cannot assume something in the court of law, you have to prove it. So she's going to have to go the extra mile, or her lawyers are going to have to go the extra mile to try and dispute that fact when it's just hearsay really, because she hasn't in fact spoken to Thomas. How would you know? So like I said at the beginning of the video, this is a pre-trial hearing and no date has actually been set for the real court trial. That could be a while yet, but this is basically ironing out all of the witness statements, all of the evidence, and seeing in front of a judge what can and cannot be part of the hearing. This is where things get thrown out. Evidence, witness statements, anything that they claim that they cannot back up, the judge will throw it out. But it's going to be an extremely good insight on how both sides are going to force ahead and the lines of inquiry and defence and accusations that they are going to put forward. Whether or not they have a lenient judge, I don't know. Only time will tell, really. Now, as I said, it's going on right now, and Chris Shipp is actually live tweeting about it, so he's obviously in the know. He said that Meghan's lawyer, David Sherborne, is now speaking, which means somewhere on the Microsoft Teams link, Harry and Meghan are listening in, and it's around about 4-ish in California. It seems that Meghan's legal team is arguing that the press has a right to freedom of expression, but the Mail on Sunday was simply seeking to satisfy the curiosity of its readership in the private life of Meghan and her father. There is a difference, the High Court judge was told, between public interest and the public being interested in something. Meghan's team argues that the Mail on Sunday was doing the latter, not the former. That's a very interesting question, isn't it? Because she is disputing the fact that she is privileged and wealthy, yes, that's part of the court case too, because she's a member of the royal family, does that exclude her from being a public figure? If you're a public figure, does that mean the public has a right to what happens in your interest? Is it of public interest? That is the fine line of this court case. Whether or not the Mail on Sunday overstepped the line with the public's interest with regards to Meghan and Harry. Some would say because she's a public or was a publicly funded servant, then the public have an interest into things that may happen. For example, if she's incorrectly spending a vast amount of money of public funding, would the public have an interest? Well, yes, they would. However, this is the difference. This isn't about public interest or what they're spending. It is about the relationship between her father and Meghan. But the problem is it wasn't the Mail on Sunday that originally went for this story. Thomas approached them, and they saw fit to publish it. Whether or not they thought it was in the public's interest or not, they went ahead. And there lies exactly where this court case will go. And it all depends on how well you pick your lawyers and also, evidently, the judge. My own personal opinion is whether or not Harry and Meghan win this court case, it's still going to leave a very nasty taste in the mouth of everybody else, including the royal family, especially if their financials are brought into court, which could very well happen. That has never been done before in an open court. So can you imagine how the royal family is feeling about this at the moment? Because they have no control over Harry and Meghan, that is quite evidently clear. They will not know exactly what's going to happen today. Nobody really knows what's going to happen today. So I guess that they feel quite helpless with regards to all of this, and quite worried, I could imagine too. You know, Harry's gone off to LA and they really don't have much to say about what happens in their life anymore. So they're probably just thinking, oh my God, could this get any worse? But if the Daily Mail can prove that they courted the media in getting PR puff pieces and media spin on particular news articles that they've had a hand in, then it could all go a little bit skew-if for Meghan. I think it has to play, I've mentioned this in a video previously, is that Jessica Mulrooney, it is alleged that she approached one of Meghan's old PR people when there was an unfavourable story going out about Meghan. She intervened and asked her either to back out or to change her story slightly so it was more favourable to Meghan. That indicates media manipulation, and if Meghan knew about that, I'm not saying she did or not, I don't want to be sued, then that could be a way of the Daily Mail or the Mail on Sunday bringing in evidence, the fact that Meghan is manipulating PR and media spin. If they can do that then blows her case that she isn't of public interest, or that some stories shouldn't be of public interest, completely out of the water. You cannot say one thing and do something completely counterproductive and still have the same case. It's the same thing as the People magazine. Meghan denies the fact that she knew about her friends going to speak to People because she said, I didn't know they were going to say that, didn't know they were going to do it. Deniability is not an option here, because I can assure you that those so-called 5 friends would not have gone to the press without pre-approved from Meghan. They just wouldn't. I don't think that that would be possible. Again, that's just my personal opinion. Would you think that those 5 friends would have gone to the press if they hadn't have got the okay from Meghan? Now, she denies that she knew this. She denies that they were going to talk about the letter. But those friends, it's undeniable that those friends knew about that letter's existence. Why? Why did they know about that letter's existence if it was so private? Now, she probably just talked about it. I believe she must have known about this article to People magazine. Saying that she didn't know is just closing the stable door after the horse has bolted, in my personal opinion. But it seems that the linchpin of the court case is the difference between public interest and the public being interested. What do you think it was? Do you think, as a royal family member, that we have a right to know, or do you think that they should have an element of privacy? And do you think the Daily Mail will be bringing in evidence that suggests that she's been manipulating the media through PR puff pieces and pap walks to get into the papers? It's interesting that I've just been made aware from Minty Badger on Twitter that says that in the court case documents they're still using their HRH titles. And this may very well be because when they submitted the court case they were still technically able to use their Royal Highnesses, but now they're not allowed to use them in any form. So that's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? This court case is going to be extremely telling about who wins. If the Mail on Sunday win, then they will probably celebrate by opening the floodgates, everything that they know, because it's going to give them credence to be able to do that. I don't think they have done that since the court case. They've been quite reserved on what they do and do not report with regards to Harry and Meghan. If Meghan wins, then this will change reporting forever. Those of us who have followed this farce from the very beginning, pre-wedding, have always known that she's a shrewd manipulator when it comes to press manipulation and PR. It seems that she is looking to change the face of reporting forever. And that's got to take a lot of ego to be able to do that. So in summary, Meghan's letter, she claims, was edited in a calculated attempt to paint her in a negative light. Her lawyer has said that it was misleading and dishonest, even cutting out words in the middle of a sentence or whole sentence out of a paragraph. Her lawyer, Mr. Sherborne, has accused Mail on Sunday of trying to deceive the public by stating it was a full letter when it was not. He also claimed that the Mail on Sunday left out parts of the letter in a calculated attempt to portray the Duchess of Sussex in a negative light. He added they suppressed these parts, and these parts would have undermined the negative representation of the article. Right now, they are taking a break and they are due back at 2 p.m. BST, which, if you don't know, is British summer time. So that's in 15 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up right now so I can get this edited and get it out. And then I will do a further video when they resume back in the pre-trial court case. And I will see you very shortly. As always, let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.